guys, I'm so excited for today's video because today I'm going to be revealing to you my second and my first choice for palettes of the year. And the reason why I'm doing that is literally because I already filmed a full video with my second best palette of the year, and then somehow my memory card has just disappeared from the face of this earth and I don't know where it is. So I don't have that footage anymore. I don't know if my cat maybe knocked it over and like started playing with it and now it's like under the couch. I have no clue, but that is nowhere to be found, so I can't show you the actual footage of me using that palette in a look, and I just don't have time to film another dedicated video and edit another dedicated video with that palette. So I'm gonna show you what my second best palette of the year is, and then I will do a look with the best palette of the year, which I also have already filmed, so I will input that footage after I've shown you what my second best palette of the year is. So drum roll please, but the second best palette of the year is not gonna come as a surprise to I think a lot of you, because I raved about this palette so much when I reviewed it. It is not what is on my eyes today because, like I said, I did not have time to film another dedicated video with this palette, but it is going to go to the DD Signature Fearless Holiday palette. Instead, I will link my review video that I did with this palette. I did 3 looks with it. I will link that up in the corner if you want to go check that out. But this is such a beautiful palette. It is so... I don't know what it is about this color story, but it's so versatile. There's so many things you can do with this. All the formulas are spectacular. The shimmers in this palette are so pretty. They're very smooth, very easy to work with. On me, they wore really well. The mattes are super smooth, very buildable. I had no problems with any of these, and this is supposedly a new matte formula from DD Signature, and I think it is amazing. So I have nothing bad to say about this palette, and I'm so sorry that I wasn't able to do another or film another dedicated look with this palette, but it's just getting really close to Christmas and I have a lot of things going on. I also have a trip in a couple of days, so I simply just don't have time, and I totally apologize for that. But I'm also really excited to show you what the best palette of the year is. I will link this palette down below. I'm not sure if it's still available. I also do have an affiliated code with the brand. It's just Annette if you are interested in picking up this palette. It's definitely limited edition. I think there's a pre-order right now, which there was when I filmed my other segment with this, so just go ahead and check out the links down below if you're interested. But I'm gonna cut to future me or past me or whatever you want to call it and show you what my favorite palette of the year is, as well as show you the look that I've done with that. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's jump to the future. Today we have come to the top. I'm so excited to be sharing this with you, and I'm excited to be using this palette again because this is a palette that I have reached for so many times this year. Maybe not as a standalone palette, but I've reached for this for like certain shades, and it's just been a very helpful palette to me in my collection. And when I first got this in, I was not expecting to end up loving this as much as I do, because here's a hint, this is the biggest palette that I own. And if you've been around for a while, you probably know that I've never been the biggest fan of like ginormous palettes with a bunch of shades in it, but I gotta say, the Ellis palette from Blendbunny has just been such an amazing palette that I have had so much fun with this year. I almost even have pan in the shade. Like, I don't know if you see that. This shade I've used so much, this whole row in the middle of iridescent shades. Spectacular. I love them so much, and that is what makes this palette for me, is this row in the middle, because it makes the palette a standalone palette while still only having 5 shimmers. And that's honestly tough to do, but these are so versatile. You can layer them over basically any matte. They make sense with the color story. Like, this one really does go with this top row. This one really does go with the second row. This one goes with like all of these. And it just makes so much sense. This palette is truly amazing. And if you have not tried Blendbunny yet, get this palette. I actually don't even know if this is still available. Hang on, let me check. So it does say that this is currently out of stock on their website, but apparently Glisten Cosmetics does sell it. So I will try to link somewhere you can get this palette if you are interested. I'm not going to have a discount code if you don't buy it from Blendbunny though, so you're not going to be able to get some money off. If it does come back in stock, you can use my code Annette to save some money. If not, I will try to link it somewhere else that you can buy it if you're interested. But such a beautiful palette, and honestly today I want to do a pretty simple look because my eyes are still watering. I don't really know why, but it's super annoying, so I don't want to do anything like too heavy underneath my eye. I'm thinking I just want to do a very wintry look with some of these blues because I'm wearing basically all blue today, and I really want to just go like full monochromatic blue, and maybe like the silver could be kind of fun. So I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. So I want to do probably this one as like a big wing, could be fun, and then maybe play with this one and like this one and this one, maybe this one. I don't know. We're gonna start with the shade. Can you even see? Am I even in frame? I'm gonna take this shade, which is a shade called Nebula, And I feel like there are probably a couple of shades still in this palette that I haven't used yet because it is such a big palette. And I know myself, and I know that I'm usually drawn to like a lot of the same colors in palettes when I'm using them. So there are definitely shades that I've used more than others. But I do think I've used the shade because I can see that I have like brush strokes in it, which I know it's weird to say that this is my favorite palette of the year when I haven't even used every shade yet, but it's such a big palette. So I feel like that's justified, you know? So I'm just gonna go ahead and stamp on like a big wing here. If you haven't seen the video I did where I explained how to do this, I will, I guess, link that in the corner. I'm not gonna be able to link everything I've talked about, but I will have some videos linked if you want to check any of them out. But this is how I like to do my big wings for hooded eyes, because obviously when you have hooded eyes, you can't do wings in the same way that people who don't have hooded eyes do them. So I like to do them this way, even though it's obviously not a normal wing. It's a modified wing, but when your eyes are open, at the end it will look like you're just wearing a big wing. And then when you close your eyes, it'll look a little bit different, but that's okay. So I'm just connecting that to the upper hood of my eye here, just kind of making sure that they're definitely not even. This is a struggle every single time. I'm gonna try to make them as even as I can, and then what I'll do is I'll fill in sort of the outer corner of this, and then we'll do probably one more matte and then the shimmers on the lid, and that's pretty much gonna be it. Oh, I just forgot that I forgot my eyeshadow primer. Wow, that is the first time I've ever forgotten to prime my eyes, but I guess we'll see how these perform without. Wow, I can't believe I just forgot to prime my eyes. That is absolutely crazy. I have literally never in my life done an eyeshadow look where I have not used an eyeshadow primer. So this will be the true test to the palette. How does it do without an eyeshadow primer? I would not suggest using eyeshadows without a primer, honestly, unless your eyes are maybe not hooded or you're only using like one shade or something. But if you're using mattes, please use an eyeshadow primer. Otherwise, just be aware that your shadows might not do what you want them to do, because eyeshadow primers just really help with longevity and also the way that things blend. It's just so much easier when you use some kind of a tacky base before going in with the eyeshadows. I cannot believe that I forgot to prime my eyes. I'm still just like, what is wrong with me today? I think I just have a lot on my mind, and you know, with the holidays coming up, there's just a lot I need to do. So I feel like my headspace is just like somewhere else right now, and maybe not fully focus on the eyeshadows, which is totally fine. I mean, this is gonna work out well. It's not even, but I think it's gonna end up looking okay in the end still, especially with some lashes on. I do feel like lashes definitely hide a lot of imperfections, if you will, but I think it's even enough. Like if someone were to see me quickly, they wouldn't be like, oh, her eyeliner is uneven. At least I don't think so. I'm gonna go ahead and take, do I want to prime the inner portion of my eye? Maybe I should put down just a little bit of eyeshadow primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that because I do want this to like blend a little bit. I'm just doing the tiniest amount of my eyeshadow primer here because I just want to make sure that I get a little bit of a smoother blend, and I just don't want to have to worry about it. So just blending in a little bit of my primer in the front portion. Don't really need to worry about my lid since I am using a glitter primer on there anyway, and I literally just stabbed myself in the eye with my brush. That was painful. So let's see, which shade do I want to use? I'm thinking like one of these lighter ones, probably this one. I think that could be nice. I'm gonna grab the shade, which is one called Cosmic, and I'm gonna do that pretty much on just the front portion of my lid as well as my crease. Like, do you see how pigmented that is? That is absolutely stunning. So pretty. I'm not even going to connect these two. I want this to be not a halo eye, but I do want the shimmers on the lid to sort of go up in between, if that makes sense. And I do just want this as the extra color, not so much to help with the blend on the outside. This is already so pretty. Like, I love this. I'm gonna put some of my NYX glitter primer on my lid, and we'll do some of the shimmers. You'll get to see just how beautiful these are. Like I said before, the shimmers in this palette is one of the reasons why this palette ended up so high. And usually I'm the person who's like gushing over Blendbunny's mattes, which like at this point I've just come to expect perfection. So I barely even talk about their mattes anymore because they're just perfect. And I just have nothing else to say about them. So obviously this palette is incredible because there are so many mattes, but I also just love the shimmers. So the combination of me loving everything in this palette is why it ended up as high as it did. Now, do I want to use the silver? Is that what I want to do? I kind of do just want to use the silver and then maybe, I don't know. Let's go with this one because this is such a pretty silver. It is one of my absolute favorites in my collection. It is so metallic and so sparkly at the same time. It's just, oh, look at that. Look at that, so pretty. Just gonna go very heavy with this, pretty much all over my lid, and then I'll go back in with the blue matte over the top of this. I feel like it's gonna stick a little bit better on top of the shimmer than it would have if I were to put it on my lid without a primer, so that's why I'm pulling it so far out, also just to get a bit of a blend between the two. But do you see how pretty that shade is? I am leaving a little bit of room just in the front portion here because I do want to use one of the iridescent shades to show you one more in this. But I did do did I do a 5-look video with this palette? You can just search for it on my channel if you want to go watch my full review on this. But I just remember having such a good time with this palette when I used it, and ever since I keep reaching for it. And it's honestly surprised me so much how often I have dipped into this palette. Because like I said, it's such a big palette and it's kind of a pain to store, but I've just had it in front of me on my desk here where I do my makeup, so it makes it a little bit easier. Now let's see, do I want to use this one? Just want to make sure I'm picking the right shade. This is more of a green, but I do think layered over maybe it could work. This one is more of just a topper shade, which I really like, but I think I'm gonna go with this one, which is the blue one. So this is a shade called Deity, and I'm gonna use that just right over here. Oh, that is so cool. I already love this look so much. And I love that it almost looks a bit darker than the silver shade. And so it almost makes it into an unexpected halo eye in a way. Like, I really love the way that these colors are working together. It's not really what I was expecting when I sat down. All I knew is I wanted to do something blue. And this is certainly turning out blue. And I love that because you guys know blue is one of my absolute favorite colors to wear, not just with makeup, but with clothing as well. Oh, I love this so much. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and just go back over the outer corner. Let's use this one from What's Up Beauty. It's the R107, just taking that same dark blue shade. And I'm just gonna make sure that I put on a little bit more of this and get a blend with the two colors as well. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted. That is stunning. I'm gonna quickly go ahead and finish up and you'll see just how pretty this look is gonna end up looking, especially with some lashes on, probably some blue in my waterline as well. So pretty. Okay, so the look is all done. I didn't do anything other than putting some blue in my waterline and my lashes. These are the baby lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. I've been kind of switching it up lately and just using the lashes that I have because I have a big box of lashes. And I honestly love all of them because I feel like I've found styles now that I really like, and every time these guys are having a sale, I always stock up, so I have quite a few of their lashes now. And this is one of the styles that I did not buy enough of last time, so I haven't wanted to open the ones that I already have because I was like, I don't want to wear them out. Which is stupid. Like, wear what you have, right? Because like that's why you bought them, to wear them. And I know I'll get at least 10 wears out of these until they fall apart. So this is just my first wear. I love these lashes. I think they're so beautiful. They really go with this look too. They're not like the most intense lash, but they also flare out quite a bit. And I like the shape of them, and you can still like see my look through my lashes. I just think they're really pretty, and I just think this palette is amazing. I think only 2 of you guessed this as my favorite palette of the year, which I kind of expected more of you to guess that this was my favorite palette, but maybe I haven't talked about it as much as I've actually just used it on my own. That's probably it. But love this palette. Congrats to Blendbunny for making it to my top again. Have they been my favorite palettes for like 3 years now? I know the Blends palette was on my top one year, and then I think the Lure palette was on top one year. Was that last year? It might have actually been last year. I think Lure was on top last year, and then this year Ellis. Wow, so Blendbunny 3 years in a row, is that right? Again, I'm not really surprised though, because they're just a fantastic brand, and I'm so excited to be able to try out all of their products. Thank you to Maggie for putting me on their PR list and just sending me all these launches, because I have so much fun with them. They're just a blast to play with. They're great quality. I have nothing bad to say. Go get this palette. Moral of this video. Anyway, I'm not usually someone who's pushing products, but if there's one palette that I think that you need in your collection, it would be this one. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here with me this year. I don't think I'm going to be posting anything else until after New Year, so Merry Christmas if it's before Christmas. If not, I hope you had a great holidays, Happy New Year's, and I will see you in 2025. If you want to see some more ranking videos, I'll put my playlist up on the screen, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.